Snot Rag Sunday because I think one of the little imps gave me a cold at school, but that's what Motrin is for. I knocked that out the box. Nurse mom recommended. Anyway, about a week and a half ago, I was getting my hair cut and I looked across the street, and on the building facade were posters for that movie Kick-Ass. This is an upcoming superhero movie. It's got McLovin from Superbad in it. And I was just looking at it for a second. I was thinking, you've got this poster with the big letters that say Kick-Ass, and it's on a busy city street. It was on Armitage. And inevitably, somebody's 5 or 6 year old is going to ask their parent, "Mommy, what's an ass? And why do we kick it?" So questions will be answered. The questions will have to be answered. And I feel like in this zeitgeist, the word ass is, almost as common as the word apple. Nobody cares anymore. Nobody really talks about that as a so-called swear word. You see it in magazines, you hear it on television, not a big thing. But it still is a quote-unquote bad word. And for young people, and I think about this because I'm getting into education, for young people who are going to see this, it's going to warrant a lot of questions. So I guess the thing I was wondering, if that is a bad thing. Is it a bad thing that, we don't seem to mind putting these, so-called swear words out there for mass public consumption, kids and all that other stuff? Or is it a step in a progressive direction? Are we getting to the point where we're being liberal enough with our language to, open young people up to all of these options of speech? And I think about that because, me personally, I grew up exposed to a lot of different things. My dad swore like a drunken sailor, so I was swearing like a drunken sailor when I was like 9 years old. But the difference is I knew when and how to, do that. It was like, I knew there was a right place and time to speak that, and I knew there was a wrong place and time, and I like to think that I still do. Some might disagree. But the point is, 50 years from now, and I think there's going to be this. I think basically we're undergoing a general paradigm shift that's taken a little while, but it's something that's going on slowly and steadily. Paradigm shift being a lot of the things that we considered illegal and illicit at some point are slowly becoming more and more acceptable. For example, marijuana. California is all but legalized marijuana at this point. And gay marriage. All of these states are rapidly adopting gay marriage. It's just something that's coming down the pipeline slowly but steadily. And I think 50 years from now, there's going to be people our age that say, "Oh my God, I can't imagine that there was a time when gay marriage was illegal." Or I can't imagine there was a time when marijuana was illegal. Kind of like how we say we can't imagine there was a time when there was a colors only and whites only fountain. And so all of these things, again, I just really wonder what people think about the goodness of these things. Me personally, I believe all illicit, immoral, negative, or questionable things, be it sex, drugs, violence, foul language, all of the stuff is best understood when placed in the context and when you're educated about everything, every aspect of it as a whole. I think one of the worst things a parent can do to their children is shelter them from the world. Yes, words like ass are out there, sex is out there, drugs are out there, violence is out there. And the worst thing a parent can do is somehow give their kids the impression that stuff is not out there. It's just not a good look. And so, even though I was exposed to a lot of different things, I had an understanding, I can watch a Beverly Hills Cop 2 movie when I was 6 years old, but I know not to go out and shoot shit. It's pretty much, I had this understanding. I knew sex was out there, but, my pops, he taught me how a condom worked when I was young. And, when I started having sex, before I started having sex, I knew in the back of my head that protection was essential. And I think that's where a lot of people miss out. That's why we have all of these teams. It's not the fact that people are having sex per se. It's the fact that people are having irresponsible sex, unsafe sex. So, again, this paradigm shift that we're going through toward progressiveness and liberalism and kind of a step away from the Judeo-Christian ideology that has governed our society for so many years, I really want to know what you guys think about that. I want to know if we're headed toward hell in a handbasket because we've got posters like Kick-Ass out there, or are we getting to a point where we're developing a solid, more mature understanding of the world and all of the things in it, and will that make our kids better people? So let me know what you think. One.